Sometimes we forget why we're here. It's easy to fall off track. These help us remember.
These battle scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles.
Growing up, I had a dream, something no one else could see. Tell me what it means when your faith is falling beneath your knees and you can't breathe. Everything you see reminds you of what you're not or something you won't be. You gotta take what you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians or choose to be an accountant because it's safe in a business. Not because they wanna do it, just because they heard it pays. And who the fuck wants to be poor knowing that's how we've been raised? Society is getting heavy, I can feel the weight. The pressure of success is like 100 million pounds of shame. And that's the reason I'm staying up late, trying to find a way to escape the stereotypes this day and age is making me feel like the only way I'll be happy is getting signed to a label and making money through rapping. I wanna share my emotion because this world is attacking the very principle of life that lets the people be happy. If you don't have a reason to breathe, why even live? These battle scars are impressions of everything that it is.
Scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battle scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles.
Now, if I had a voice that reached 100 million people, I'd tell them there's a reason that we're all created equal. Cause some decide to be great and some decide a sequel to an average person's life is simply what they want to be. So you make your decision, all I know is what I'm given. Won't define the life I lead or the way I dwell in existence. I've seen a greater image on the walls of where I'm living, and the words twisted and scripted remind me of something written. Faith is a gift that is given down to the people. If one believes it, one receives it. It's given if it is needed. Don't ever think you're trapped in a life that you never wanted. Your options are infinite, that's some mathematical logic. I'm not saying I'm a prophet, I'm speaking for what it's worth. These lyrics define my prayers and these battle scars on my church. Not saying I'm a prophet, I'm speaking for what it's worth. These lyrics define my prayers, these battle scars on my church.
Scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battle scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change.
Well, hello everyone. How are you doing? As you can tell, I haven't had a chance to change from work. Or as Wayne would say, don't ever change. But him and his bad dad jokes. But I just rushed down here to do a show because, you know, convention season. I think it's like every week I go, oh my God, I'm so crazy busy because of this. Oh my God, I'm so crazy busy because of that. It just reminds me of what I said at the Colorado convention. Was it 3 years ago? I'm like, I'll sleep when I'm dead. And that is like, sorry, I'm cleaning up at the same time because it's like so messy down here. But this is the last day of February. And I'm like, whatever we're going to get done from the February 1975 LP News. I got like some kind of weird hair. Like, there we go. Is that a bit redundant? I've got a weird hair. I think I've got a lot of weird hairs. Oh. So, yes. So this is the last day of the month that we can cover stuff from this issue. Otherwise, we'll be moving on to the next one. This upcoming weekend, I am the convention parliamentarian for the Libertarian Party of New Mexico's first annual convention of the new affiliate. The weekend after that, I'll be back in New Mexico, Albuquerque both times, for the LNC meeting. And then a couple weeks after that is the Colorado convention. So yeah, and I think I've been invited to a few more. I'm not really sure which ones like yet that I'm going to. Unfortunately, I had to turn one down for later in March because I'm needed to help prep for the Colorado convention. It's the week before the Colorado convention, and I was needed that weekend. Okay, well, let's see what we're going to get to. It's not going to be all of it. So we're going to try to pick out the most important parts here. Let's see. I like sometimes reading out some of these names because sometimes people know these people, and it's kind of nice to give these shout outs from so long ago. So we have here new life-sustaining members. The National Libertarian Party is in constant need of financial support. Oh boy, that's a whole other thing, isn't it? But we are in constant need of financial support. So what a segue. Yeah, lp.org/donate. We are in constant need of financial support. And apparently, I triggered a lot of people when I posted about that on Twitter. Like, I routinely fundraise. That's not unusual for me. So let's just continue to do that. Anyway, seems like things never change. Same thing in 1975. To carry on the day-to-day operations of bringing the libertarian message to the country. One major source of such funds is the opportunity for libertarians to become lifetime and life-sustaining members of the National Libertarian Party. Pardon me, I've got a cough that I just can't shake. Remember I was sick like 3.5 weeks ago? I did a COVID test. Probably not even allowed to say that on YouTube. The Coachina or whatever, the Coachella test. And negative, but I cannot shake this cough. I just cannot. So I'm sorry, I'll just like go like this, but it's particularly when I get very animated. Now, today, we don't have those two categories. We have sustaining members, and then we have life members. But they had two different categories of life members back then. And you know, that probably wouldn't be a bad category to bring back. If I remember correctly, you became a life member by a one-time, for the time, you know, significant contribution. Right now it's $1,500 within a 12-month period. That's a significant contribution. And I think life-sustaining was you did that, but you also were a regular donor. So if we had that today, I would be that. I mean, I'm set up on a monthly donation, and I became a life member 4 years ago, maybe. But anyway. Oh, no. See, I guessed. That's how I would kind of see it today. But it looks like a life member back then was a lump sum, and life-sustaining was just a bigger lump sum. Okay. For some reason, that doesn't make as much sense to me. So a lifetime membership back in 1975 cost $100. And a life-sustaining member cost $250. Such memberships constitute major contributions to the efforts of the Libertarian Party. Ed Crane, National LP Chairman, has announced the addition of 5 new life members and 1 life-sustaining member, representing a total contribution of $750. Trendlin, I would definitely do that. Just find where we're going to be in the same place at the same time. Would absolutely love to pin you. Okay. Sorry, man, this cough. You know, when you've had a cough for a while, the way it just makes your whole body hurt because of the herky-jerky, and it's just so energy draining. And I really apologize. Okay. These recent additions bring the total of life memberships to 20 and the total of life-sustaining memberships to 7. Who's calling me? I didn't wear my watch. I hate when it does that. I wear my watch and I can stop it. Because remember, I use my phone as my camera. I saw no need to get a fancy pants camera. These new iPhones, like the cameras on them are incredible. The newest life-sustaining member of the party is Thomas Martin Jensen of Santa Clara, California. Jensen says, I believe in personal liberty, and it reasonably follows that if I believe in personal liberty, I must believe in the idea of everyone's personal liberty. The LP is the best way to disseminate the idea of personal liberty, in my opinion, and the newest life memberships were taken out by William White of Los Altos, California, Ronald Wishart of Inglestown, New Jersey, Joseph Newsom of Virginia Beach, Stephen L. Heafy of Belmont, California. Wow, a lot of Californians in here. And Mark Hinkle, yay, I know Mark, of San Jose, California. Hinkle succinctly expressed his reason for joining the Libertarian Party. I want to be free to live as I see fit. Okay. And I think I'm just looking in here. Yeah, I think the last thing we are going to cover is recent letters to the editor around the country. Now that's interesting that they print these. I think that would be kind of cool to do again. Is that, I've got so many sodas laying around here. No, that's an old one. This is the new one. All right. Check out this old picture. Did we look at this before? This looks super familiar, but I don't think we have. Let me see if I still have LP News loaded up. I think I still have like some Michigan stuff loaded up. So hold on one sec. Yeah, because this is Michigan. Let me take that down. Here's LP News. So I want to show you this picture. No, that's not it. Right there, in the middle there. I love the LP poster. We need to hang an LP, banner, at our LNC meetings. But this is a 1975 LNC meeting. And let's see who they say is there. John Kraft, Andrea Millen, Ed Crane, Bill Westmiller, Dave Nolan, Porter Davis, David Long, and William Cecil. Okay. But give me, just something struck me right there for a second. I want to look one thing up quickly. No, that's not it. Let's just look here, because maybe I'm remembering something wrong. No, I guess not. Okay, sorry about that. I just wanted to look something up really quickly. Okay, so let's go to these letters to the editor. Boise, Idaho. Idaho Statesman, January 14th, 1975. The recent publication of 2 articles by the Idaho College Republican chairman, David Warnick, on the direction the Republican Party should take in the remainder of this century leads one of libertarian principles to rely to the internal contradictions presented therein. Wow, this is kind of convoluted writing, but very formal. Mr. Warnick goes to some length to present the position that we should start eliminating those parts of the government and society which coerce the individual. I applaud him for that position, and I would hope he would follow it consistently. As would I. Okay, let's go back to the full screen. I just wanted to show you that one picture. The fact that he does not, but instead, for example, calls for the ensuring of strong state and local governments, would provide no tuition like, this is just really weird wording. General college education. Oh, no tuition general college education exhibits the implausibility of the Republican Party providing the leadership necessary for a libertarian society. The contradiction which exists, and apparently Mr. Warnock does not perceive it, is that government is coercion and that it exists because of force or fraud upon the general populace. Any action it undertakes, no matter how noble the purpose, involves the forceful appropriation of wealth from at least a segment of the citizenry. Couldn't have said it better myself. I think I might need to tweet that out. The robbery has come to be known as taxation and to be fraudulently termed voluntary. That taxes are voluntary is a palpable lie. Try not paying your taxes. Try keeping your hard-earned money to use to feed yourself and your children, to buy clothing, to find shelter, to give to charitable causes, and you shall be accused of evading that robbery entitled taxation, and you shall be fined, vilified, condemned, and imprisoned. This writer, this is D. Allen Dalton of Idaho. Very good, D. Allen. Mr. Warren, I presume, shall repair to the castle. We don't hear that term anymore. And I'm not even sure I'm going to define it right, but in like older books that have like more of a Victorian feel, that phrase repair to like means to go to, I think there's almost a connotation of retreat or withdrawal. Am I correct? Let's look that up. That's a phrase I haven't heard in a while. To repair to. That is not even something I can find quickly. Retire to, JJ says. Okay, let me look up to repair to a place. What does repair to a place mean? It says old-fashioned and formal. It means to go to. Okay. I always thought it had a little bit of like a escape type of connotation. But maybe not. Because here are some examples. It's funny how I just get into words here. Repair to someplace. To go or betake oneself. That's also another cool word. Betake. Let us repair to the drawing room for some aperitifs before dinner. The two presidents repaired to a private meeting room before the press conference. I think I'm going to start using this phrase again. And Trendlin says, my favorite old-time word for the bathroom is the, what's it? Necessarium? Necessarium? But yeah, I think I'm going to need to start to say, I am going to repair to. Sound like I need a butler. Okay. So, where'd I put it? Oh, it's up here. Mr. Warnock, I presume, shall repair to the castle, called majority rule in imposing taxes for his educational schemes. Having done so, he shall have shown his true colors, those of authoritarianism. Tyranny is tyranny, regardless of the numbers. That's another good tweetable thing. Whether one person enslaves the many, as in a dictatorship, or many enslave the few, even if that few be but one person, as in modern democracies and republics, the violation of an individual's rights is the same. The answer to an oppressive federal bureaucracy applying upon individuals, robbing them, and eventually sending them off to murder is not several oppressive state or local bureaucracies doing the same. The answer is freeing the individual so as he or she may engage voluntarily in the growth of society to come together in communes, corporate enterprise, or individual enterprise, restricting only those actions which impinge on the rights of the individual to life, liberty, and property. Mr. Warnock's motto may very well be libertarianism, but that is not his creed. Those interested in pursuing a future world, really starting to dig his writing, where freedom shall flourish, would do well to look elsewhere other than the twin sisters of warfare, welfare, statism, the Republican and Democratic parties, or their jingoist little brother, the American Party. And jingo is a word that's coming back. For a while, that wasn't used very much. But that also is an awesome word. One might wish to... He does write so formally. One might wish to contact the Libertarian Party, and it gives... and pray that the postal monopoly does not misplace your inquiry. This is fantastic. Oh my God. Sounds like House of the Seven Gables. I expected Hepzibah to make an appearance. All right, next letter. It was from the January 11th, Phoenix, Arizona Republic, and it is written by David A. Lizio. Regarding this, my God, these people wrote so formally. Maybe we just don't know how to write today, that I'm finding this so fascinating. Regarding the subject of a national health program, I must truly state I cannot see any value whatsoever in such a program, excepting that which is contained in the further advance of socialism in this country. I personally do not want to participate in any such healthcare conglomeration and must not be forced into it if this nation still maintains a belief in individual freedom. If one thinks waiting times are too long for medical appointments now, look again if the proposed national health program becomes a reality, and how about quality? It seems to me that members of the medical profession will lose the desire to get ahead and soon quit caring about the service their patients are receiving. Endless lines will exist no matter how they perform. Then arrive new laws and quality controls. How far am I now from full-blown totalitarianism? Medical care in this country can be vastly improved by removing the controls and restrictions currently placed against it. Free enterprise and unrestricted competition will lower prices and put health back in the healthcare industry. By all rules of logic, a national health program cannot succeed. No lie detected. All right, last letter. This is from California, Thousand Oaks News Journal, and it's from Bill Stanley. Ever stop to consider how inconsistent government policies are? A few years ago, the federal government forced all cigarette manufacturers to put a mildly worded warning concerning possible health hazards on all packs. When cigarette smoking failed to wane, the government coerced the companies to print a stronger warning on the packs. This too failed to achieve the impact sought, so the government banned all cigarette ads on television and radio. Now the government is considering legislating tar and nicotine content. One might conclude from these actions that the government doesn't want people to smoke. Consider, however, that the government continues to subsidize the tobacco industry. An attempt was made in the Senate last November to stop the subsidies by deleting them from the Agricultural Appropriations Bill. The attempt lost by a margin of 2-1. According to a newspaper report, the government expenditures are for tobacco price supports, export subsidies, and sales promotions. One of the senators voting to continue the subsidies was California's own John Tooney. As a libertarian, I am opposed to the government giving part of my income to the tobacco industry against my will. Though a non-smoker, I am also opposed to government interference with the tobacco companies' marketing of cigarettes. Quite frankly, marketing is none of their business. No, actually, quite frankly, it's none of my business if a person chooses to inhale smoke into his lungs. There we go. Yes, even if it is injurious to his health. The Libertarian Party considers such matters to be personal freedoms that should not be subject to government interference. Good letters. Good letters. I think we have lost the art of writing good letters to the editor. But also today, like that first one, something that long, would never get printed. We're in the Twitter world, you know? You got to keep it under a certain number of characters. So what we ended up not covering, and I certainly encourage you to go to Lpedia and look up the rest of this issue if you're interested, is there is like an ad down here at the bottom. Well, let me pull this up so you guys can see. So there's an ad there at the bottom, Conference to Analyze Economic Crisis. It was going to take place in New Orleans. And then the last page. World News Notes for Libertarians. Now, this is usually pretty interesting. So let me just skim through, see if there's anything we want to cover. What? Check this. Oh, okay. So this is in the first column entitled Holding His Banner High. It says, in New Braunfels, Texas, county officials refused to count write-in ballots cast for Mickey Mouse, the result of an editorial campaign conducted by the local paper in protest of a one-man race for county judge. Check this out. The county stated that since Mickey Mouse is an idiot, lunatic, and minor, and very possibly an unpardoned felon, he was ineligible to hold office and his votes need not be counted. Why are you so harsh on Mickey Mouse, man? Hey, man. Oh, let's see. What? Check this out. Springtime for Castro. According to the Wall Street Journal, prospective brides and grooms in Cuba receive the benefits of free wedding ceremonies. Moreover, the groom can easily get permission to buy a gray suit for the ceremony, and the bride is allowed to rent a long white dress. However, it would be a crime for the happily married couple to grow their own vegetable gardens. Federal narcotics agents recently seized a jar of Ovaltine from a pilot in Great Falls, Montana, on the suspicion that it was LSD. That'd be a freaking lot of LSD. They also impounded his plane after notifying him 2 weeks later that the Ovaltine was indeed Ovaltine and that he would not be prosecuted. Check this out. The agents informed the pilot that he would be charged for storing the plane. The pilot is suing for damages, inconvenience, and the $1.08 he paid for the Ovaltine. That's pretty good. Let's see if there's anything else funny in here. Oh my God. Uganda's strongman president Idi Amin has announced new measures to control inflation and rising prices. If any businessmen are found overcharging, hoarding, or smuggling essential commodities, they'll be shot. Wow. Check this out too. There's some cool quotes here on the bottom. If being a slave and owning a slave are both wrong relations, what difference does it make whether there are 1 million slave owners and 1 slave, or 1 slave owner and 1 million slaves? Do robbery and murder cease to be what they are if done by 99% of the population? Okay, you know, I have this spare just to go. Mic drop. Okay. Let's see what else we got here in quotes. The state can have no right, which the individuals who compose it have not. Morality is the rule for individuals, and all the rules applied to the conduct of governments are necessarily derived from the rules laid down for individuals. What individuals are prohibited from performing, that is also prohibited to governments. Well, we had some philosopher kings at the end there, huh? Well, that is it for this evening, and that also wraps up February. We're probably going to get a little late start on March because, again, next weekend in New Mexico, weekend after that, New Mexico. It's convention season. And I'm still cleaning up my mess here. I've got all kinds of flotsam all over the place. But I hope you guys have an awesome night. And I'll see you soon. But before I go, because I forgot to do this, because I'm a terrible YouTuber, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. It really does help the algorithm. And lastly, if you do enjoy this type of content, I know it's really niche, so I do count on your support. You can support me at Patreon. Just look up patreon.com/Pink Flame of Liberty. Okay, everyone, I hope you have an awesome night. And I'm not sure if I'll be streaming tomorrow. I'll do the best I can. Let's just put it that way. Bye-bye.
Given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in a